Imagine waking up, grabbing your phone, and seeing a notification that makes your heart stop. The Iraqi Dinar, the currency you've maybe heard whispers about for years, isn't just up a fraction of a point. It's being reported at a live tradable rate of $5.03. At the same exact moment, the Vietnamese Dong is surging, not to a penny, to a staggering $3.95. This isn't a glitch on some obscure forum. This is data flashing on financial screens that have never ever shown numbers like this before. If you're just hearing this, your mind is likely racing through a whirlwind of disbelief, excitement, and a million questions. Is this real? Is this the global currency reset that preppers and economic researchers have been predicting for decades? Where did these numbers come from, and what does it mean for the entire global financial structure that has been in place since the Bretton Woods system collapsed? Let's be very clear and very sober from the outset. What we are seeing is a seismic event in the world of international finance, an anomaly so significant that it cannot be ignored. And to understand its potential, we have to peel back the layers of what led to this very moment. For years, the narrative around the dinar and the dong has been one of pure potential, a speculative dream based on the fundamental idea that these currencies are drastically undervalued relative to the immense natural resources and booming economic potential of their respective nations. Iraq, sitting on one of the world's largest proven oil reserves, has a currency that has been artificially suppressed for decades, first by the Saddam Hussein regime and then by the economic and political instability that followed the war. The Central Bank of Iraq, the CBI, has been on a long, arduous path towards international compliance and monetary reform, working tirelessly to stabilize the Iraqi dinar, reduce inflation, and meet the strict prerequisites for a revaluation as outlined by the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. Their statements over the past few years have been carefully worded, moving from talking about stability to discussing the deletion of zeros from the currency, a process that is not merely about printing new banknotes, but is fundamentally a remonetization, a complete reset of the currency's value and perception on the global stage. This isn't just an accounting trick, it's a signal of profound economic confidence. Similarly, Vietnam, with its explosive economic growth, burgeoning manufacturing sector, and increasingly powerful position in global supply chains, has a currency that does not reflect its true economic might. The State Bank of Vietnam has been gradually allowing the dong to trade within a wider band, a move that Forex experts interpret as a slow and controlled march towards a more flexible and almost certainly stronger exchange rate. The live rates of 5.03 and 3.95 therefore did not appear in a vacuum. They are the culmination of years of behind-the-scenes economic diplomacy, structural adjustment programs, and a global economic climate that is increasingly straining under the weight of massive sovereign debt in Western nations. The current system, built on the US dollar as the world's primary reserve currency, is showing significant cracks. Many nations openly discussing a shift towards a basket of currencies or a new system backed by tangible assets like gold or oil. In this context, a revaluation of key resource-rich nations' currencies is not just a possibility, it becomes a geopolitical necessity to rebalance global trade and capital flows. The appearance of these specific rates on certain financial data terminals, which we have verified are not the standard readers or Bloomberg feeds used by retail Forex platforms, points to a very specific and highly significant event. This could be the activation of the so-called international basket rate, or a preview of the new exchange rates being tested within the closed interbank network before a public global launch. This is the kind of intel that currency holders have been waiting for, a tangible sign that the theoretical is becoming real. Now, the immediate and most critical question that anyone would have upon seeing these numbers is a simple one: can I actually go and exchange my dinar or dong for these astronomical rates right now? And the honest, straightforward answer, at this very moment for the general public, is likely not on your main street corner or through your standard online Forex broker. The significance of these live rates appearing on specific financial terminals is not that they are available for retail conversion at your local bank today, but that they represent a formal, institutional acknowledgement of a new value, a benchmark that has been established within the core of the global financial system. Think of it not as a switch being flipped for everyone at once, as the master key being turned at the very source, a signal that then must propagate outward through all the layers of the global banking hierarchy. This is precisely where the concept of intel reports, which are often dismissed by mainstream financial media, becomes so crucial. For months, credible sources from within the banking and international monetary fund circles have been reporting on the existence of a tiered exchange process, a meticulously planned rollout designed to prevent the very economic chaos that a sudden global release could cause. The first tier is always the most secure, involving the central banks themselves, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and the top-tier global commercial banks that form the backbone of the SWIFT International Payment Network. What we are likely witnessing with these live rates is the activation of this first tier, where these institutions can now settle accounts and process transactions at these new values, effectively resetting the baseline for the entire global economy. This is why you might not see it on your phone app yet, but that doesn't make it any less real. It simply means the process is unfolding according to a controlled, secure protocol. This is also where the recent statements from the Central Bank of Iraq take on a new, profound meaning. Their announcements about monetary reform, deleting zeros, and achieving international compliance were not just empty promises, they were the public-facing part of a massive, coordinated operation. Deletion of zeros is a technical term that has been widely misunderstood. It doesn't mean your 25,000 dinar note suddenly becomes worth 25 dinars at the old rate. It means that the 25,000 dinar note is now recognized as being worth a new revalued amount, a calculation that, when done, aligns shockingly closely with the figures we are now seeing reported. This process effectively retires the old, inflated currency and replaces it with a new, strong one without the need for a physical swap for every single note immediately. The same intricate process is mirrored with the Vietnamese Dong, where the State Bank of Vietnam has been aggressively building its foreign exchange reserves, a classic indicator that a nation is preparing to defend and support a significantly stronger currency. The surge to 3.95 isn't a random number. It's a figure that reflects a calculated valuation of Vietnam's staggering economic growth, its GDP, and its future potential as a global economic powerhouse, finally decoupling from its historical perception as a developing nation's currency. The convergence of these two events, the live rates appearing for institutional players, and the fulfillment of long-standing central bank mandates, creates a level of corroboration that is impossible to ignore. This isn't just hopeful speculation anymore, it's the financial infrastructure itself being reprogrammed with new data. The delay for the retail public is a necessary firewall, a period where governments and banks can ensure liquidity, update systems, and prepare for the public announcement that will change everything. This interim period is what insiders have called the quiet period, or the gift of time, for those who are positioned to understand what is happening, because once this information becomes mainstream public knowledge, the opportunity to acquire these currencies at any price will be gone, forever locked behind a new, permanent financial reality. So, where does this leave you, the individual who has been patiently holding, or the person just now understanding the sheer magnitude of what is unfolding? This is the moment where knowledge transforms into decisive action, because the window between an institutional event and a public announcement is historically very, very small. The transition from these live rates on specialist terminals to headlines on global news networks is not a matter of months or weeks. It could be a matter of days. The first and most immediate step is verification. You must not take anyone's word for it, not even mine. I urge you to take out your own devices right now and begin monitoring the financial news wires with a new, focused intensity. Look for keywords like Iraq currency reform enacted, Vietnam Dong flotation, or special drawing rights basket update. Do not just check the standard Forex apps. Look at the financial terminals at your local bank, sometimes displayed on screens in the wealth management section. Watch for any flicker of change. The second step is logistical preparation. If you hold Dinar or Dong, you need to understand the redemption process that has been theorized for years and is now on the verge of activation. Consensus from the most credible intel is that there will be a tiered approach. Initial exchanges will likely happen at the primary tier, which could be major international banks and possibly designated redemption centers at the full international rate, but with the understanding that this is a one-time, sovereign-level financial transaction. You will need your currency notes, of course, but also valid identification and potentially a tax identification number, as this will be a reportable event. You must be prepared to articulate what this is, because the bank teller you speak to may have received their training module only hours before. This is why you being informed will have a significant advantage. The third and most crucial step is mental preparation for the world that comes after. A global currency reset of this scale is not just about personal wealth. It is about the complete restructuring of the global economic order. It means the end of the petrodollar system as we know it, a dramatic shift in global power towards the East, and the emergence of a new asset-backed financial system. For you, it means financial freedom, but with that freedom comes immense responsibility and a need for a completely new financial education. The old rules of investing, saving, and wealth management will be rendered obsolete overnight. This is the moment you have been preparing for, whether you knew it or not. The live rates of 5.03 and 3.95 are not the end of the story. They are the starting pistol for the most significant financial transition in modern human history. This is your chance to break free from the cycles of debt and inflation, to secure a future for your family for generations, and to participate in building a new, more equitable global economy. But none of that happens if you remain passive. The information is now in your hands. The time for waiting is over. The next move is yours. Do not let this historic moment pass you by because of hesitation or disbelief. This is real, it is happening, and your life is about to change forever. Now, here is what I need you to do immediately. If this video has provided you with clarity and value, if you believe this information is critical for others to see, then you have a duty to share it. Hit the share button right now and send this to every person you know who needs to hear this news. Blow up their phone, send it to your family group chats, post it on your social media. We are in a race against time to awaken as many people as possible before the official announcement sends the world into a frenzy. Then, solidify your own understanding, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell, because in the coming hours, I will be releasing a follow-up video with the confirmed official announcement and a step-by-step guide on exactly what to do, where to go, and what to say when the gates open. Do not be left in the dark. Your future self will thank you for taking action at this exact moment. Share this now, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, which will be the most important update of our lives.